Abigail, so excited to sit down with you today. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me.
Yeah, you bet. Nice to see you, Benjamin.
Definitely. Well, let's just jump in. Abigail, tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from? What do you do? And how the heck are you in the world of property management?
Yeah, okay. So I am in Austin, Texas, and I have a property management company, Smart Egg Properties. We've been around for 14 years, and I've been in property management for 19 years.
Awesome. All right. So an experienced pro in the field. And how many doors do you currently manage approximately?
We manage about 150 doors.
Awesome. All right. Now, every property management company is unique, but what are some of the things that you guys specialize in?
So actually, the thing that I think really sets us apart is our mission, which is to empower women to be financially stable, successful, and independent through rental property ownership. I don't think that there's anybody else doing what we're doing.
I love that. What inspired you to have that vision?
It was based on my own experience. I got divorced 13 years ago, and it really kind of sent me into a tailspin. I wasn't making a full-time income at the time, and you don't know until the divorce is final what the split of finances is going to be, and it was very, very challenging. And actually, a study has shown that men come out ahead when it comes to divorce and women come out behind. There can be as much as a 50% spread between the two. And so I owned rental properties, and that was actually part of the division of assets, and that helped me a lot. And then also owning this company, those things were very helpful to me. And I can see how absolutely critical real estate has been to my general well-being. I used to be afraid that I wasn't going to be able to take care of myself financially, but my properties really are my nest eggs, and I know that I'm going to be okay. And so I want to help women to have that same confidence and not have to rely on anybody else other than themselves in order to take care of themselves and know that they can be successful. So hopefully just share my wisdom so they don't have to go through what I went through.
I love it. That's amazing. What a hard but amazing backstory. It sounds like you've really made something incredible out of that. So there you go. I'm curious to look a little bit more towards the company. Could you tell us a little bit about what the company looked like before you started working with the Black Sheep team?
Yeah, so I am really an operations person. So I'm all about getting stuff done. So we had a lot of systems and processes in place, but they weren't necessarily the most efficient. My operations manager also very much geared towards getting things done. And one thing I noticed is that no matter what it takes to get things done, she'll do it, but she's willing to do things the hard way, meaning like what can be done in 2 steps, she's willing to do in 5, 6, 7, 8 steps, right? And so, and I think to a certain degree, I was willing to do that as well. I just don't think I realized kind of the world of possibility of how to shrink those steps down. And so I think that we were just working a lot harder than we needed to.
Gotcha. So it sounds like that was kind of a primary area of inefficiency, is working really hard, but maybe not working as smart as you could have.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And how was that impacting your business financially, operationally, personally? What did that look like?
So, we sometimes employees were frustrated because they were overworked. I actually needed more employees than I have now. Because just the sheer workload, it seemed like I needed more bodies, not understanding that there were ways to accomplish what we needed to with fewer bodies, but being just as good, if not better. So yeah, and actually, I think that people weren't able to focus on the most important aspects, which oftentimes is the communication with the owners and the tenants, because they're so busy having to follow up with all of like these little details. And some of us are really good at that, but some of the people who are more customer service oriented, maybe not so great at that, right? So then details get missed, and that's almost worse, right? So no matter how the customer service is, if things aren't actually getting done. And so they're just, it felt kind of in certain ways like it was a mess.
Yeah, that's hard. Um, I'm curious, were there any things that you tried before you started working with us to kind of solve this problem?
Yes, I hired more people. That was how I tried to solve it. And it didn't work. I mean, it's sort of sad in a way that like you'd like to think that people could solve the problems, but it really wasn't. It wasn't the answer for us.
Yeah. Okay. Now, your engagement with our team was a consulting engagement. Tell me a little bit about the experience that you guys had working with our team.
Yeah, so our operations manager, Angel, she is just like a wonder child, and she's not a child, and she learns everything very quickly, and so she wanted to be the one to streamline things in Lead Simple and learn Zapier. And I definitely wanted that for her as well. So that way, like within the company, as we come up with new ideas, we can execute them ourselves. But we just really needed help learning how to do that, and also getting lots of ideas for what kinds of things could be automated and streamlined.
Yeah, really kind of tapping into an idea network, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What are some ways that our team supported you as you were going through that journey of tapping into more ideas and kind of figuring things out?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing of all was really learning how to use Zapier. Angel had, read up on it and she was experimenting with it herself, but it just hadn't really clicked in yet. And I think sometimes, you just need to go to somebody who's an expert and have them show you how to do it. So just having Caitlin, who we worked with, really walk her through. And there's just so many different parts of Zapier. And so, you might have an idea, but you don't know how to execute on it. And so learning all of that. In addition, she didn't know about mail parser. And so that's been powerful as an add-on. Also, for one of our meetings, we had your resident Notion expert to help us like maximize the use of that and figure out how to put our level 10 meetings into there. And so we're really starting to fly with that as well. And so just each of the different softwares that are, they're really big and they have really important functionality. So introducing us to it and then teaching us the key aspects of how to use those programs.
Love it. Was there anything that stood out to you about the tools, frameworks, or overall guidance that we provided?
Well, Caitlin was amazing in between meetings. She was amazing during the meetings as well. Always so kind, so patient, knowledgeable, but also in between meetings when things weren't going exactly as Angel had hoped they would, and she would help her in between, and she would also really like write out the steps. And even at the end of our engagement, there was something where she's like, hey, if you'd like me to, I can just give you guidelines. We weren't going to be able to do it together, but she's like, I'll write out the steps for you of what you need to do. So she was, just a really amazing, support for us and knowledgeable and helpful.
Awesome. All right, let's talk a little bit about kind of the transformation or the change, if you will. Tell me about how things have improved or changed since you work with the Black Sheep team.
Well, for me, I am literally finding myself with free time that I did not have before. Like my days were just always very full. And now I'm like, I have just several hours every day. Like I've literally gotten back time. And as I said, I've been doing this for 19 years. And starting this Friday, I'm going to be taking permanent 3-day weekends. And these are not things that would have been possible without all of this streamlining and automation.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. It's really fun.
Yeah, I want to say too that truly we are running better than ever. It's this really interesting dynamic where on the one hand, you think, clients and tenants, they want to talk to us all the time. And sometimes they do want to talk to us. But really what they want is the information that they need, ideally just before they need it, And automation has allowed for that. So for example, we created a set of milestone emails that when a property is listed, they get an email that tells them what to expect. And then, what's going on behind the scenes. And then when the property is leased, they get another email. And then when the tenants move in, they get another email. And we have a number of other emails like that. And so that is drastically cut down on, owners reaching out to us to find out like, hey, what's going on? Another piece of that is we actually do these weekly Friday update emails. And that was like, Caitlin helped us a lot with Zapier to actually set that up. It was more complicated than you would think, but basically there's, the maintenance manager, he fills in his update for the week for that property. The leasing manager fills in their update for the week. And then it goes to Angel to send out an email. And we don't expect to hear back from clients. That's not why we're doing it. We're actually doing it so that we, clients are not sort of panicked or uncomfortable, like, why isn't my property leased yet? Or what's the status of the make ready? But every week, at least half of them respond to us like, thank you for this information. I think it really calms them down. And those are lovely emails. If we're going to get emails, those are lovely emails to get, And so there's just the quality, even though it's like we're interacting less in a way, the quality of our service has gone up.
Amazing. I love that. Okay. Are you finding that there have been any costly mistakes or problems that have been prevented because of some of the work that Angel's done with our team?
I would say that we have definitely, I feel certain that we have kept some clients that possibly we wouldn't have kept because we're in a slower market and properties are taking longer to rent, and clients can get very uncomfortable about that and blame us for it. But because we do these weekly email updates where we literally will say, we've had, 3 inquiries and 1 showing, or we might say we've actually had no leasing activity in the last week. As a result, we're going to lower the rent, by $100 or something like that. And so because that's such helpful information to clients, they're really very quiet and calm with us. In the past, before we were doing that, we did have clients who were kind of panicked or upset or blaming us for the market or whatever, and that's not happening anymore.
What, by taking a more tech forward approach, what have you been able to accomplish instead of kind of the normal busy work?
Yeah, so it definitely allows me to focus on more big picture stuff. But also, one thing I want to say first is that now, like, the way that we think about problems that come up is totally different than how we thought about those problems before. If a client complained about something, well, we just handled that issue. And that was that. Whereas now it's like, hey, is this an issue that a lot of clients have? Or is there some really easy way that we could solve for this through some automation, like adding it to an email they're already getting or something like that, to really just make this problem go away for all clients? So we all think in a very systems oriented way now, which we were not doing before. It's actually really fun. Like, it's really fun. Because I think I feel more empowered, where it's like, oh no, this thing is happening. Well, we'll just solve that. And okay, everybody be better. Right. But now we can create these systems and processes where it's just built in, but it's fun to think about it. Like, it gets the wheels turning, and it just makes my job more interesting. But then also, yes, I get to focus on more big picture stuff. Like, there's very little day-to-day activities that I have to do. So I get to focus on trying to grow the company or make it better in different ways, run surveys with clients, just things that I really didn't have time to do when I was like stuck in the day-to-day.
Love it. how has your confidence in scaling and operating the business changed as a result of going through this?
Oh man, I always felt like, okay, you get to that point where like you grow, but you can't really afford to hire somebody new yet. And so you're like, it's painful. Then you hire somebody, then it kind of eases up, but you have to, but not exactly, because you have to shift your protocols, right? Now you have another person. So, you have to change your accountability chart and all of those things. I feel very comfortable and confident that I could probably double in size without having to change, much of anything. And I mean, I didn't know that was possible until going through this like streamlining and automation process.
That's awesome. What's maybe an intangible benefit that you have experienced as a byproduct of this that might not be on the roadmap or something people would expect?
Actually, I would say it's the fun of it. Like, it's really fun. Like, how can we make things like faster, easier, better? How can we like cut down, how many steps it takes to accomplish something? Like, it's really, I think the fun of it was the unexpected benefit.
Love it. All right. What would you say to another property manager who's considering working with the Black Sheep team?
Oh, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it, because I mean, I can't speak for other people, but for us, like the realm of possibility, we just didn't know what it was. So we are much better equipped with that. And so for people who are like, I know this could be better, I know this could be faster, I know we could ease our workload, but they don't know how, it's very much worth it. It was very much worth it for us to work with Black Sheep to learn these amazing tools that helped us, cut just hours out of our days.
I love it. All right. Last question here. If you had 30 seconds to describe the impact of Black Sheep Global on your company, what would you say?
I would say that working with Black Sheep Global has empowered us with tools that we can use forever to continually refine and automate processes that allow us to work more efficiently, provide better service, and grow without having to without upheaval in our staffing or our processes.
Amazing. That was so great, Abigail. And oh my gosh, I'm still like, I can't believe that you're being able to permanently take a 3-day weekend. That is the coolest thing. Caitlin's going to flip out when I tell her that. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for sharing this time with me. Yeah, this was incredible. Thank you so much.